Hello everyone, and welcome to Livelia's Coloring. In this video, I'll be showing you how I do skin tones using markers as a base and colored pencils on top. At this moment, I can't do long series showing how I colored the different shades of skin tones or using the different colored pencils for those different shades and on using it on or coloring on different types of paper from the coloring books. It's just going to be too much because for me with skin colors, especially when I use a base, just by using one color of a base, I could use so many different shades of colored pencils to create different skin tones. So because there's just too many different shades, and I thought that the best way for me to do these kinds of videos is when I do a page, especially a portrait type of coloring, and I'm going to be coloring skin tone. I'm just going to go ahead and do a video showing how I colored it, what colors I used for the markers, what type of pencils, and what colors I use from those colored pencils, and also explain the type of paper I'm using. And by doing that, I'm also going to be leaving myself a reference on how I colored using certain colored pencils. Even though I did record it in my coloring diary, it's the coloring diaries for me, so these videos would be good reference for you guys if you want to try the different kinds of skin tones using materials I use, or following the different shades and then using those to implement into your coloring when you're doing skin tones. I thought that these kinds of videos would be helpful. Also, I was wondering if I should also do a playlist showing or with videos of myself coloring different shades of hair, because yeah, there's many different shades of hair, and so those videos could also be used as references. So I might also do that. I have to see, because I have several color alongs that I'm doing one for my channel and I'm collaborating with Crayola. It's called #Color Your Hoard. So that's coloring an uncolored or untouched coloring book for my collection. And yeah, so now I have that one. I wanted to do another color along for another book. So yeah, so these I can probably try to do in between those color alongs, and hopefully it'll start accumulating in the playlist. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clear this table up, and I'll show you guys what page we'll be working on. Okay, so the page we'll be coloring in is this page, and I picked this page because I'm also going to be using this page to participate in a color along for Instagram, and that'd be a great page to do a video on how I do a skin tone. I did got asked how I do my skin tones, especially using colored pencils over markers as a base. So the markers I'm going to be using is the Touch New skin tone markers. So these are just the skin tones. So yeah, I really like these pens. They're very juicy, and the pencils we'll be using is Crayola. So be using Crayola pencils. I love using Crayola pencils on Create Space paper. So let's see how that turns out. The color I decided to do for her skin is Pastel Peach. It's right over here. So I'll pull that out. Pastel peach. And before you color with markers, always have a piece of, well, I'm using a piece of like printer paper, and I also have a cutting mat right underneath it, and I just use a little clamp to hold it down. So I'm just gonna turn it sideways so it'll be easier for me to color. This way. Hold it down. Oops. Wonder if I'll just hold it down at the side. Okay, so I'm just gonna start off with the arms, and go ahead and use the chisel tip. With markers, so you don't have streaks, you want to work as fast as you can. And I try to go on a path, so I try not to go wide because alcohol can dry fast, so you want to continuously work past the line that you were using. So let me see, can you see? So I'm just going over it. I'm going in circles. It doesn't really, I don't know, I don't see any difference between going like straight lines or circles. So I'm just gonna go like this and just there. It does come down lay darker, and it'll get light as it dries. So I'll continue with the rest of the arm and neck. And I like these handle the pictures because the lines are so thick that you don't have to worry about it bleeding through to the edge too much. There, just a little bit over here, and okay. So with the face, so I don't have like a line right in the middle of the face, I try to go as fast as I can. I use the chisel only because it's a lot juicier than the other tip, the bullet nib. And I try to work fast. I'm always going back to where I left off because that's where the line would start drying. So I try to go back. But then when you color with pencils, you can also hide that little line. There. Okay. Okay, so now the colors I'm going to be using from the Crayolas, I'm just going to pick the one from the 100. This is my half of the chart of my 120 count Crayola colored pencils. So the colors I'll be using is peach, copper, and light brown. And then I'm kind of deciding between these two. I might just go ahead and, or maybe brown. I'll do dark chocolate. So dark chocolate, light brown, copper, and peach. Go ahead and get those out. So here's copper. What did I say? Light brown. Dark chocolate and peach right here. So these four is what I'm going to use. Let me see if I can zoom you in a little bit more. Or let's bring this down. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen my pencils. Okay, so the marker is dry. This is how the color laid. I'm going to go ahead and start with, see, the copper, light brown. I'm going to start with my copper to start with where I'm going to put my shades. So of course you want to frame the face, so I'm just going to lightly add color to where I think the shades on her face are. Hopefully, sorry if it's shaking. Oops. A little shade under her lips here, and because she's tilting her head, it's going to make a shade for this side of her nose. Should I draw a nose? I'm gonna draw a nose like this. I kind of put like a kind of like a triangle, but it's like a bent triangle, or like an arc. Sorry, my fingers dark. It was I thought my sharpener was broken, and I was trying to fix it. So I'm just slowly putting shade right below her eyebrows, and then bringing it down a little bit down here, and then also on this side, because there's going to be a little bit of shadow, not too much. It's going to be darker on the right side, so just right underneath the eyebrow, so you can already see a little bit of the nose being defined. I'm just going to put like a little there. And with the handling, you don't have to put too much, really. Just a little bit of shade here and there on the face. Because there's a marker base underneath, it pretty much did like half the work for you, which I like, because then I can color her handlings page pretty quickly. So next I'm going to come in with the light brown, and then where I colored the copper, we'll put a little bit more of this light brown. Yes, I'm using this page. I don't know if I said it earlier. For several color alongs for April on Instagram, and there's a couple on Facebook also. I can use this page for. And just right under the eyes, just a little bit. And then on the other side. And I'm still using light pressure. I'm not really pressing down because her head's tilted. Go down this way. And right under her lip, and then right over here. See, it's kind of like a crescent, but then I meet that little line that she leaves there as the bottom part of her nose, the shadow part. And I'm going to use the light brown to deepen up the shadows on this side, the right side of her face. I'm trying not to go in too hard or too much color. Let's put a little bit on this side. Very light touch. Because I'm going to come back with the brown, not the brown, the copper, to see where I would need it more. There. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with the peach. As you can see, the way I color, I go the second lightest to the second darkest to the lightest. I kind of, it's different. I don't know. It depends on the page I'm coloring, I think, what colors I use. I'm putting a little bit of pressure going over the other shades and then bring it out towards the middle of her face. And this is peach. I think I said that already. I'm not sure. There. It's like medium to light. So I'm going over the colors I used and then bringing it in towards her forehead. A little bit. And then on this side. And I'm going down because the top part right here will be the lightest shade. Right here. This cheek, just going to pull out some color towards the middle. Then I'm going to work on the nose and hope it's straight. I can't tell from looking at it sideways. I'm going to bridge it right here, right in the middle. I think I need more, is it copper? Shadows. I think it's more to the right. I can't tell. So right now I'm going to get a Q-tip and I'm just going to blend this area of the nose, both sides, just to blend it out. See? And then it's barely that many, so I'm just gonna go to cheek, just blend this out. Because I want to add a little more shadow before I come in with the dark chocolate, I'm going to use Lilac. Just can't see. It's not focusing. Oh, there you go. Well, I'll put the numbers down below in the bottom left. But I'm just going to go where the shadows are and then use that to add a little more shadow. My pencil is kind of bent. The Crayola pencil, some of them come like with a curve. This one is curved. It curves down that way. So it feels weird on my hand. I can feel the difference right there. So you can see a difference already using the purple as a shade color. I'm still going to use the dark chocolate to go on top too, and I'll probably add more light brown and copper, and I'll smooth it again with the Q-tip. Here, I'm just gonna just doing light right there. Sorry if I'm quiet. Kind of have to. I don't know. I just concentrating on the colors I'm putting out. Okay, so now I'll go in with the dark chocolate, and then where I put the purple, I'm just gonna put this dark chocolate there. Right here. And the further I go in, I lighten my pressure. So I go in a little harder, well, not hard, but like medium pressure towards the line, the darkest area, and then I like lighten my pressure as I go towards the middle of her face. So here I would want it dark. I'm pressing a little harder, and then I lighten up as I go towards the middle. And I'm going to do the same here. Put there, under her nose. Just very light. Very light on that side. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with the light brown. Again, going over and then going further into her face. trying to make sure that her nose is even. I hope it's even. It's hard to tell when her head is tilted sideways. But I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to come in with a copper and this hard, this not too hard, but like a medium, then light touch coming towards the middle of her face. Right here. Here. I'm just gonna go ahead and start from this end. Try to smooth out where I colored. I want to kind of, you know, the darkest part of the nose. Well, not dark. When you're looking straight at a face, there's this like little, what do you call that, ridge? That kind of. So I'm just doing like a little one right here. And then I'll put the side. Okay, then I'm going to come in with the peach. And just going over the whole thing and just bringing it towards the middle and fade out. And because I already did the markers, that would be my lightest. I don't want to have to use like a white to blend it all. Here. And I'm putting like peach on here that goes right from under the nose to connect with the cheek on the bottom part. So the lightest part of the cheek is going to be right here. And just color over the nose. And on this side, okay, so since I'm done that, I use this end of the Q-tip. I'm gonna use the other end, and then continue to blend it. So this is, I think this is my final one. So I'm just going to blend, starting with the lightest section, and just go in. Just blend that out. I'm not pressing down too hard. I don't think I have to, so just and on this side. And then I'm gonna use the other end. I'm just going to start from where the lightest section is, and then just go in the middle to the next side. Just here, and just kind of where the curve of the nose. That's where I'm gonna go. For the cheeks, I'm gonna be using Fuzzy Wuzzy. This is, I think, my favorite favorite color in the Crayola. So this is gonna be for her cheeks. I'm just gonna start at the end right here, and it's like a medium right now, and then I'm lightening the pressure as I go towards her cheek, and I'm just going to, I'm not sure how I want her. I think I'm just gonna go from here and then fade it towards her face on this side. I'm gonna do a little at a time. I don't want to go all the way in. I'm just gonna go on this side and lightly put in color, the Fuzzy Wuzzy. Put a little on her nose. Just a light pressure right down here. Going up. I want it to be subtle. The side. Maybe a little bit on her chin, a little bit on the shaded areas. Here. Okay. That looks cute. I'll go ahead and use the Q-tip. I'm trying to find, this is the not so used end. I'm just going to lightly smooth out the cheeks. And on this side. And go ahead and do the lips. Go dark. I'm using Fuzzy Wuzzy again. I like to use the same lip color using or same color I use for the blush. I'm just going to color this all in, and it matches the bow, I think, but I do want it a little bit darker, so from using this, oops, sorry, do you have any more reds in here? Red or raspberry? I'm kind of I'll try raspberry. I could always add red on top. So here's raspberry. Oops, oh, there we go. And I'll go in the bottom of the lip there, and then the middle. I'm just gonna leave the top lip the pale Fuzzy Wuzzy. There we go on this side, because she's tilting her head. So you can always use the Uniball Signal and to add more highlights. So yeah, so this is the face. Let me see, it's kind of washed out there. So this is just in regular sunlight that's coming from my window. So that's how her face is going to look like, or the skin. And I'm going to go ahead and work it, use the colors for the rest of her arms. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back right now. I had to leave and do some shopping with my youngest daughter, and I'm back so I can go ahead and finish the rest of this skin tone. I know I said earlier that I was going to leave the top part, the Fuzzy Wuzzy color, but then looking at it now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and color it in with the raspberry. I think it looks better that way. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do the neck and then do each arms. So grab my pencil. So kind of the same process as I did with the face. I'm gonna start with the second lightest, which is copper, and I'm just gonna put where the shadow is. And here, probably not so much. And I'll go with the second darkest, which is light brown. Then this there. Sorry if the camera is shaking. Try to be a little more gentle. And there, and then we're gonna do our lightest one, which is peach, and I'm just gonna start all the colors that I did and then just bring it towards the lightest portion, where the lightest portion of her skin will be. I'm not gonna go all the way in there, so. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with the lilac for shadow. Okay, and then I'm going to use the darkest one, which is dark chocolate. Here. And then continue on with the second darkest to the second lightest to the lightest. And then I'm going to blend it out with the Q-tip again, just to smooth it out. Now with the peach, just to blend that all in and pull the color towards the lightest part of the skin. And then I'm just going to use the same Q-tip, but since there's not that much pigment on here, I'm just going to use this one again. And I'm going to go start from the lightest and then go towards the dark. And I'm not pressing down too hard, just enough so it can blend. Okay, so I'm going to continue on with there. So I'll get the copper to start laying down where my shadows are going to be. An arm. How does it look like? I think there's like a line here, right? From where your bone is. Just gonna go like this. And then shadow right here. I'm just gonna bring that up. shadows over here. Anyways, I took my youngest daughter, who's 16 years old, to go clothes shopping. Just look around. We went to Goodwill. We were gonna go to Old Navy, but we didn't have enough time to stop by there, so we went to Forever 21, and then my daughter was able to find some clothes in there, which she's happy about. She's the youngest. What is it? I'm the only one that has kids in my family, and my husband's family also. And also, I'm gonna come in with the light brown. So from my sisters and my her aunts, my cousins, the clothes that they don't wear anymore, instead of like just donating it to like Goodwill or Salvation Army or anything like that, they give it to my daughters, and they love them. I mean, they wear the clothes out, but then my daughter, she was all like, she wanted to get new clothes, and she's been wearing hand-me-downs for a couple of years, and she just wanted something new. So I was like, okay, you know. Her birthday was a couple weeks ago, and my present for her was to go shopping, and today was the only day that we were able to go, because she's going on a retreat tomorrow for church. So just want to get everything done before she leaves tomorrow. So I want to go back with the copper, just to see where I think I want to add shadow here, and so I'm gonna have highlight like right in this part instead. And that's where I think the shadow should be. So I'm just gonna this here. That. If you're wondering about the background, everything is colored with my Lilac markers, and with the big marking pens. So now I'm going to come in with Lilac to put in the shadows that I think are here. Yeah, so like I was saying, yeah, I was going shopping, and I haven't been shopping for a while, especially for clothes. I usually go clothes shopping like before the school year. Yeah, I rather shop online, but then at the same time, it's like you can't, with clothes, you can't try it on. Make sure that it fits you. Okay. So now I'm going to come in with the dark chocolate. I really love the Crayola colored pencils. I'm using these on Create Space paper. Another pencil that I think works pretty good is Pablo's and Eroshitens. Caran d'Ache Pablo's, and then the Eroshitens, they work pretty well on Create Space paper. I'm gonna come back in with the light brown. I'm just going to there. Okay, so now I'm going to go back with the copper and this. I'm wondering how long this video is going to be. I'm not really sure. I'm hoping it's going to be just about 30 minutes. So I'm trying to leave this as real time so you can see how I transition from each color. So, okay, so now I'm going to come in with the lightest one, which is peach. And I don't go over the whole thing, like I didn't do that with the face because we already have the marker as a base. And usually when I do markers, I try to use the lightest tone and then use darker shades to go on top of it. Like with her dress, when I come in to color her dress, I'm going to use a darker shade of this color to add depth, I guess, to her clothes and eggs and the ribbon. So I'm just going where I colored the shade and then lightly going towards the highlighted area. And now I'm just going to use see, it has the same thing. Not that much pigment came out, so I'm just going to start in the middle where my lightest is and then go towards the shade. This one here. And I'm not, oh, you can see, I'm not really pressing it hard. Those. I don't think I put any color in that one. Barely. Use this side. Okay, so now we're just going to do this arm. So I'm going to use copper to determine where the shades are. So we're going to have the shade right under the sleeve. And because this part is on the outside, I think it's going to go like this. So I think the shade is right here. So then my lightest side is going to be on this side. And then here, like this arm, just go like this. Shape from the basket. It's where the shades I'm calling out is just where I think the shades are. It might not be correct, but you know, your coloring page is your page. You can do whatever you want. And if it's not correct, as long as it looks good to you. Okay, and then we're going to come in with the light brown. And like I said earlier, I'm just doing, it's not hard, it's like I'm doing light pressure. There. Then on this side. Here. It's hard to color that kind of hand. Lilac. Is this? This one I have to press a little harder than light, so it's like a medium. Oh, I'm pulling. So I'm really hoping I can, whenever I color any portraits of women anywhere, I'm gonna have like skin tone, and I'm using different colors, different shades, whichever media I'm doing, I'm gonna add it to the playlist of just how I do skin tones. I think that would be a great reference for me and for others to go back to see what colors to use. So now I'm coming in with dark chocolate, and I thought this would be a good idea to, so I'm not always putting out videos where I'm trying to fast forward all the time, because yeah, I layer a lot, so I don't want to just be working on like my color alongs. I will have to fast forward certain sections because it does repeat with the layering. Okay, so I'll come back in with the light brown, and I'm just going to go on this side. So I'm going to be slowly, like on this area, the last color that will be covering this light area is going to be copper. Or peach. And there. Just going to, and this, what I'm doing over here is what I'm going to do on this bottom part here. Actually, just like this. There. And then come in with the copper. That looks weird. I think I put too much. Almost look like skeleton hands. I think I'm just gonna leave it like this and just shadow that whole thing. So now with the copper, I'm just going to blend the color out. And over here too. Blend this one, blend this one out towards the highlighted area. Same on this side. And then peach. Just gonna go over this whole thing and go towards the center, or towards the light area. So in this part, I'm just gonna cover this whole thing with peach, and I'm just gonna drag the color towards the light area. Okay, so like what I did with the rest of them, I am going to use a Q-tip. Which side did I use? I'm going to use this this part right here. So I'm going to go into light area and then go towards the shadowed area. Turn it and light area, gradually bringing it in there. And just to bring a little redness, I guess you would say, I'm going to use the Fuzzy Wuzzy. And I'm just going to bring a little color into her arm. I don't know, it just brings a little bit of warmth to her skin for me. Rolling over that thing. Okay. I'm just putting random places, you know, like ruby red. Just a hint of, you know, that she's like red-blooded, I guess. Yeah, I didn't want her to look too pale. So, yeah, so this is it. That's all I do. I don't do anything else. Like, eraser got stuck there. Yeah, so, I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay, so I'll go ahead and show it to you guys with, so it's not like blinding. It looks like, I don't know if there's shadow from my stand, but yeah, I'm just looking, trying to see how it looks on my camera. In front of me it looks okay. I like it. I don't know, sometimes it looks like when it with the light it's like washed out, like you might need more what is it, more shadow. But if you do, I mean, you can always come back in and add more dark chocolate and just repeat the layers and get darker and darker. But for me, because the base is already light, this is as much shadow that I want to put on her. And then yeah, the next part is I'm gonna try to decide what to color her hair. If you guys have any suggestions, just put it down below in the comments, and I'll pick one that I think would look good in this one. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys would like the idea of, you know, my making a playlist for videos of just making skin tones as I color different portraits of women, using different pencils, different books, and yeah, so please like if you like this video, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. So take care, happy colorings, bye bye.